Have you ever been out with a friend and found yourself gossiping about your partner, about how they're not living up to things or how they're so annoying, and a little part of you feels so satisfied, like, oh goodness, I'm not alone. But then there's also a little part of you that feels guilty, like, I really shouldn't be talking about my partner this way.
Yeah, so this is a habit that I think all of us slip into from time to time. And we have this super quick and easy test that you can use to assess the strength of your marriage that's really an indicator of how often you slip into this habit. We call it the brag test. So what is the brag test?
All right, well, so the brag test is essentially, what is the ratio of time that you spend complaining about your partner versus the amount of time that you spend bragging about your partner? Reminding the world what you know inside, which is why you fell in love with them in the first place, why they're amazing, all the things that they do that are incredible.
Yeah, so the basic idea is that we can tell the strength of your marriage through this ratio, right? If on the outside, when your partner's not there, you're constantly expressing your admiration for them, you're bragging about them, chances are you are in a very strong and stable marriage. If, on the other hand, when your partner is not in your presence and you're talking to your friends, it's just this constant string of criticism and complaint, chances are there's some real struggle happening. So one way to shift that is to shift toward bragging about your partner.
Yeah. Well, another thing to consider is if you're out with that friend and you're complaining about something, often we haven't even said it to our partner yet. So there's a form of communication where it feels like, oh, I shouldn't have to tell them something. I shouldn't have to tell Nate that I want to be appreciated in this way, or I shouldn't have to tell him to do this household task. He should just notice because he lives there too.
I should be able to read your mind, in other words.
Well, I mean, I have been longing for mind reading skills from
I have been trying to read your mind for well over 24 years.
It's not working.
It has not worked.
ESP, mind reading, totally not working, at least not for us. So for all the couples that we've talked to, it's a really fascinating dynamic to let go of the expectation that your partner can read your mind. And also to let go of any belief that a really nice gesture by your partner or a really kind act doesn't count if you had to ask for it. That instead we say, if you make the request and your partner shows up and meets you, that is a reason to brag.
Absolutely. So that's the first tip. Let go of ESP. It doesn't work. You can't read minds. The second tip, though, is to express appreciation for your partner when they're not even there. And this is really the essence of the brag test. How you pass the brag test is that when you're in those conversations with your friend and you start to slip into criticism, or you notice all your friends are criticizing their partners, to just become aware in that moment and then see if you can shift to appreciation for your partner, even though they're not even there.
Yeah. And it's really cool because actually that spirit can become contagious. That in those environments, often criticism is contagious, but if one person in the group can make a shift to say, and aren't we so lucky that they're really great parents, or we're out together with each other and our kiddos aren't with us, that in that moment, just that small appreciation for someone who's not there can sometimes shift the way that the entire conversation feels.
So third tip is to bring this spirit of admiration, bragging, and appreciation into your marriage itself, the inside of your relationship.
And so I have been loving describing this as a scavenger hunt. That in a scavenger hunt, you find whatever it is that you are looking for. And so in marriage, can we go on a scavenger hunt for all of the ways that our partners are amazing? Because I find what I'm looking for. And if I go looking for things to appreciate, it turns out I find a lot more of them.
So you're saying that if I go out and I look for all the ways you screwed up, I'm likely to find those things?
I'm perfect, so it's unlikely that you'll find any. But if I go looking, I'll definitely find some.
So anyway, those are the 3 tips, and that's how you can shift your score on the brag test.